On Sunday, March the 18th, 2012, Kilmarnock went to the National Stadium to contest the League Cup final against a Celtic team everyone believed was on course for a domestic clean sweep. Against all odds, Kilmarnock took on and deservedly beat the red-hot favourites, and they did it by playing creative, attacking, adventurous football.
Hay, getting it from Fowler. Gordon. Johnson. Oh, this will be interesting. Kilmarnock have scored. 6.5 minutes to go, and Kilmarnock, through that turnout, have taken the lead at Hampden and have stunned Celtic, and may well have ended their treble hopes.
Well, it means that we've corrected a piece of history that was lacking for the club. This was our 6th League Cup final, so to finally eventually get that win in the League Cup was great. We've completed our treble now. We've won the league in 1965, we've won the Scottish Cup 3 times, most recently in 97, and now at last we've won the League Cup.
For a club like ourselves to win a major cup, it's a tremendous achievement, don't kid us on, and I certainly put it alongside that. You know, that achievement that we did in '97, that was our day, that was history. We were worthy winners of that then, and there's no doubt about it. The League Cup in 2012, Kilmarnock are worthy winners of that as well. So I look upon it equally as an equal achievement to what we did in '97.
Everybody can roll off the names of the team that won the league in 1965, and so there's no reason why people won't remember all the players that took the field for the League Cup final in 2012. And yes, these players are legends. Their names will be down in the history books of the club.
But there's one name they'll remember above all the others: Kenny Shiels. The man from Maharafelt who arrived at Rugby Park from Tranmere Rovers as an assistant manager in 2010 and who only took on the top job 12 months before that historic visit to Hampden.
He'll be in the history books of the club for all time, and everybody will look back on this as being a major success and a great tribute to his role as manager. But of course it's not just him, he's got a great backroom staff behind him with Jimmy Nicholl, and I should also pay tribute to our club physiotherapist Alec McQueen and his assistant Ross Goodwin, and they're backed up by Jerry Canning, the club doctor. Then you have Billy Thompson, the goalkeeping coach, and Alan Robertson, the assistant coach. So right down to Peter Logan, the kit man. So you've got to give credit to everybody in the backroom staff who's involved, because it's a team effort. Everybody has to work very hard. At a small club, we don't have a lot of personnel, and so they've all worked very hard and thoroughly deserve this success. But Kenny's the man at the top. He's the manager. He is the name that people will remember in the years to come as having brought this great achievement to the club, and it's corrected a piece of history that was lacking. Hopefully he'll be with us for many years to come, and we'll have more successes in future.
In his short time in Scotland, Shiels' footballing philosophy has won him many admirers, not just in the Rugby Park stands, but in the dressing room, the boardroom too.
His determination to play a fluid passing game, keep the ball on the ground, pass it, but also an open attacking style is very attractive to watch.
It's important that we play the right way, because I've got my footballing principles, and all the clubs, if there's something about me, it's that I want my teams to play football first and foremost. So at all the clubs I've been at, I've made sure that has happened, and I feel that's the most important thing that I've brought to the club: a style of play that's got flair and creativity and panache and all those creative words that you want to describe something that's attractive. And I feel that that's what we've brought to Kilmarnock Football Club.
He wants the players to go out and enjoy themselves. I think he wants it to make it pleasing for the fans to watch. He doesn't want the fans turn up and having to watch Route 1 football when I was trying to dig out results every single week. So I think the philosophy being just go out there, enjoy the football.
He wants to play football, but sometimes it's not easy, because especially in this kind of football where it's very aggressive and very physically, sometimes you play against teams that they are not allowed you to play.
You know, I think the way we're playing at the moment, you know, it's complete football, and I'm sure it's a pleasure to watch at times.
But as with most things in life, Shiel's success at Kilmarnock has its basis in sheer hard work.
Well, he's brought a lot of enthusiasm. He has a fantastic work ethic. He's very well grounded in youth football, and he will go to youth training sessions. He'll attend youth matches when he's not involved with first team affairs. So he really is a 7-day-a-week football fanatic, and that sort of work ethic is what you need.
Kenny is a very, very busy manager. I don't know seriously how many hours he sleeps every night, because he's a kind of maniac. He's like watching every single match is around, watching the match you are playing, the team you are playing against, maybe the following Saturday for 5 or 6 times. And he loves his job, and he always wants to do everything perfectly.
He's quite intense at times, but I think that's why he does such a good job. He goes over everything with a small tooth comb, really, and gives us all the knowledge about another team that we can get.
The manager is the first to admit, though, he couldn't have done it without a little help from an old friend from back home.
Jimmy Nicholl is a very important member of the staff. He's the assistant manager. Jimmy brings a fantastic mediation between player and first team manager. He's got a good rapport with the players.
Jimmy Nick's a fantastic guy. He'll tell you 100 stories a day. You never get tired of listening to them. And you know, he's a fantastic man. His experience in football is great, so you know, you can take plenty from him.
He's trustworthy, and he's hard working. He's very knowledgeable about football, and he's good fun to be around.
Kilmarnock's run to Hampden began at the third round stage back on September the 20th, 2011, with a potentially tricky home tie against First Division Queen of the South. Managed by former Rugby Park hero Gus McPherson, the Doonhamers had in recent years gained a reputation as cup giant killers.
Well, leading up to the game, you know, I wouldn't say the boys were, you know, we were confident we could take a result, but I think we were aware that they can cause an upset. You know, I know in previous years they've done well in cup competitions, Queen of the South. We're fully aware of how dangerous they could be, and you know, I don't think we thought we'd walk into the game and win as easily as we did.
We scored early doors as well. We got an early goal, and I think that kind of settled you down, because you're always a bit nervous in the cups. We've had a few shocks over the years. So the early goal kind of settled us down, and we kind of went on to win comfortable on the night.
Obviously, being the Premier League side, we had the majority of the possession, but I remember them being difficult to break down to begin with. I think they got a man sent off, which was a key factor in us getting even more possession and their defence dropping even more deeper. And then once we got the breakthrough, then I think we were in total control.
The performance that night was fantastic. The way we kept the ball, and it just seemed to must have looked easy from the crowd, but it was definitely, we put in a very good hard shift to make sure that we sailed through the first round.
Goals from Gary Harkins and Ben Hutchinson bookended a superb hat-trick for new signing Paul Heffernan and sent the Rugby Park faithful home happy.
It was a comfortable enough victory, you know. I think they struggled, you know, especially with their 10 men, and it was nice. Obviously, it was great to get a hat-trick.
The fact that we won 5-0 maybe sounds as if it was an easy game. It wasn't an easy game. We had to work for what we got, and when we got flowing and playing in a good pitch at that time of the year, it was good.
I think overall, after the game, looking back on a 5-0 victory, you're always going to be pleased keeping a clean sheet and scoring 5. But at the beginning, it was difficult. It wasn't as easy as it sounds.
I remember leaving it and I said, well, that was good because we entertained the crowd tonight and we got through to the next round no injuries, everything looked pretty good.
Killy's reward was another home tie in the quarter-finals against 2nd Division East Fife. On paper, this was an easier draw than before, but when was football ever played on paper? Just ask Dunfermline and Aberdeen. The two SPL teams dumped out of the competition in earlier rounds by the Fifers.
We knew it was going to be a hard tie. They'd put two SPL teams out, so we knew it was going to be difficult. They obviously had no fear at coming to Kilmarnock. Everyone expected us to beat them, but we knew it wasn't going to be one of them games.
We weren't taking anything for granted, but being at home, we knew that we had a big advantage, and we were confident we could go through.
We were hot favourites. It brings a different pressure. As I say, you're expected to win, so again we had to do the job professionally, and we really stuck at it that night. And you know, as I say, the carrot was the semi-final place that was there for us to get a chance to play at Hampden.
I remember it being a really tough game. They were a really good side actually as well. They had a few players on loan, I think, from Hearts. When you're playing against lower league opposition, especially at home as well, you're expected to kind of run over the top of them, and the longer the game went, the fans get a wee bit edgy, and the manager obviously wasn't too happy either.
The first goal was becoming elusive because we felt that they were camped in, but they were also a major threat in the counter-attack, and we had to balance up between not going completely gung-ho, but to try and get our fullbacks forward into wide areas and push people on from the middle of the park.
And I think we didn't play very good the first 45 minutes. So the manager Kenny was not really happy with us.
He just wanted us to be braver on the ball and attack more. From then on, we kind of dominated the game,
and we seemed to be a matter of time till we scored, but we just couldn't score. As the minutes went on, unfortunately, I got substituted at that point, and then watching from the dugout, thinking, "Are we ever going to score? We can't have another cup upset, surely."
I remember the corner. I remember I was going over to take the corner, and I think Gary Hay had already just got there with his left foot, so we decided he'd take the in-swinger, and he's put it quite high in the air, and it's ricocheted around the box, and Dudu's managed to blast it in, thankfully for the lads.
I remember, I think it was a corner kick. Then I was in the second post, I was waiting for the ball, then I see the ball was coming, so I control with my chest, then I shoot straight.
Well, we didn't want extra time. Time was ticking on, and we were creating numerous chances in that game, and the ball didn't seem to be dropping for us until that incident.
Mo Sissoko's 73rd minute goal transformed the game, and the open, expansive football the manager demanded his players try and play was finally put on display. Despite the flowing football and a number of good chances, the tie wasn't finally put to bed until Gary Harkin scored with 9 minutes remaining.
We had to dig in really deep and fight for the victory more than just our quality. We had to put a bit of fight into the game. So we managed to do that and get away with a 2-0 win.
We were quite lucky early on in the cup run. With, we played lower league opposition and we managed to get through them rounds. So I think we were happy, and especially playing them at home.
Kilmarnock were in the semi-finals and found themselves in the hat alongside Falkirk, Celtic and deadly rivals Ayr United. The Ayrshire derby doesn't happen that often these days, and to have one at Hampden, well, that was something special.
And there was the draw with the gaffer, and they picked up Ayr. I was obviously happy, but at the same time a little bit under pressure, because I know that was maybe the biggest derby in the club history and the Ayrshire community.
It's a huge occasion for everyone who's interested in football in Ayrshire and further afield when we draw Ayr in a cup competition.
A few of the lads, the likes of James Fowler, Gary Hay, people like that, were saying, we'd love to get Ayr. It's a big derby, and I think a few of us lads were thinking, well, I've never heard of the Ayrshire derby.
Playing down in Kilmarnock every week, you're not really too aware of Ayr being there, because they're two divisions below us, and Ayr fans just seem to come out of nowhere. We didn't know they existed.
I preferred personally to get Ayr United so that we could have the atmosphere of a big Ayrshire derby, and I know the rivalry that exists between the two clubs.
It's Ayrshire's El Clasico, bigger than Real Madrid against Barcelona for the football aficionados of Ayrshire.
We were always told about it when we first arrived, and but we weren't quite aware of how big it was and how fierce it was.
We had a lot of fans who were saying to us, as long as you beat Ayr, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the season. So there was a massive expectation.
You only realise what means these people when you're around the week before the match. People stopping you around the town. Come on, we cannot lose this match. It was a little bit of pressure.
We got them in the semi-finals, and for me personally, it felt like a final. And I think if you asked any of the fans from both sets of supporters, it was the final, so to speak. And it was just such a massive occasion for everybody.
It maybe only comes round once, maybe every 2 or 3 years if you get them in a cup competition, and it kind of means that the bragging rights are there for a while, so we had to make sure that we got the victory.
And I felt a certain amount of pressure inside myself that because it was so important to the people of Kilmarnock, that we had to deliver. It was very, very important, and we set about it in that manner, and we treated Ayr United with the utmost respect. I watched them every 2 or 3 weeks when I get an opportunity, because I so much wanted to get this football club to a League Cup final.
There could have been nothing worse for Kilmarnock than to lose to Ayr in a match like that of such importance and in such a big stage, and where we were expected to win because we were the SPL club.
On the day it was incredible. We stayed in the hotel the night before, and remember looking out the window, and they seemed to be coming out from everywhere. Kilmarnock fans, we couldn't believe the amount of people that and the amount of interest that was in the game, and we were made well aware before the game of how much it meant to the people around Kilmarnock. It was an eye-opener for me to see the passion and within the fans down here, and the crowds that day at Hampden were tremendous. As I said, there was people here cheering us on the way out of the hotel, for that game. So I definitely won't forget the first Ayrshire derby I played in, that's for sure.
It's obviously a really nice stadium. It wasn't fully full on the semi-final, but I think because of the rivalry, you could hear it was a great atmosphere, and just everyone was looking forward to it from the minute we stepped out for the warm-up.
This may not be the Old Firm, it may not be the Edinburgh derby, but make no mistake, this is a derby that matters, and all the more so this afternoon with a place in the final of the Scottish Communities League Cup back here at Hampden at stake. And so for a few hours the National Stadium becomes a little corner of Ayrshire as these teams meet for the first time in a major semi-final.
It's probably as nervous as I've ever been, I think, playing a game even during it, because I was so desperate for us to win the game, and I just knew how much it meant to everybody that was watching us in the Kilmarnock end, and me myself being a Kilmarnock fan, I knew what it meant to the club, and I was just desperate to win that semi-final.
We thought that they would come and try and win the game. They would, in a one-off occasion, we thought they would come and make a right go at trying to win the game, which wasn't the case. They didn't want to win the game. They just came, they sat in, defended. When they got the ball, they kicked it over the halfway line and waited for us to come back at them. It was quite a bizarre situation, and eventually I think they might regret that.
Here for Shields. Again, quickly closed down, a loose ball. And the First Division side fans who have travelled in their thousands make themselves heard at the National Stadium. Dayton forward for Gary Hay, trying to turn away from Smith. He's done well. Hay is over the goalkeeper. Great defending by John Robertson. Nelson thinks about coming forward now. James Dayton. Oh, he skipped by Eddie Malone. James Dayton now picks the cross out, heading cleared by John Robertson. Ayr United try to press it. There's Hay with a shot, comfortably taken by the Ayr United keeper.
I was very frustrated being back at the other end when all the players up at the far side and their goalie was having a great game, and you just started to think the longer the game went on, is this going to be our day?
Right for Kelly. Shields the step over. Heffernan got lucky and almost a second time with a deflection.
Their keeper is one of those days where he'll probably never play as well as that again.
Here's Dayton. He might be the man to unpick the lock. He's threatened, he goes for goal, beaten away, there's Harkins, great save, Cuthbert. Still a danger not clear, Harkins can't bring it under control. Oh, what a save by Kevin Cuthbert to deny, first of all, James Dayton. Powerful effort, beaten away, and it looked like Harkins would score, and he just stuck the leg out.
Their goalkeeper was in outstanding form as well on the day, had a couple of great saves, and it wasn't just one here and one there, it was kind of 2 and 3 in a row, so we were kind of getting a bit frustrated, I think, with ourselves.
Back now with Kelly, easily dealt with by Smith. Ayr United just packing the men around the box. Dean Shields, oh, it's a terrific save by Kevin Cuthbert. A moment of real class by Dean Shields, but matched by the save of the Ayr United keeper. This was heading for the top corner, and Kevin Cuthbert once more is the difference between Kilmarnock and the opening goal. It's Pascali, and Cuthbert's there again. Heroics from the Ayr United goalkeeper. This is tremendous stuff. This is what cup dreams are made of. Is there a cup fairy tales to be told at Hampden today? Dean Shields with the corner once more. Returned by Hay, easy for Cuthbert this time.
The game was mental torture. It just felt as if we were never going to get that breakthrough. We were never going to find the goal, and you know, if we were getting past their defence, our goalie was saving it, or if we weren't, you know, the guys blocking shots, and you know, it was an unbelievable effort from Ayr.
Gary Hay opens up for him. Oh, what a shot and what a save once more from Kevin Cuthbert. Well, he's kept out absolutely everything that's been thrown at him this afternoon.
We just kept trying to encourage each other, even though the fatigue was setting in, and because it's a lot harder for a team to try and score a goal than it is for a team to not concede.
And at the end of full time, with extra time looming, it's Ayr United 0, Kilmarnock 0.
Despite having the vast majority of the possession and a virtual monopoly on the chances, Kilmarnock were still level. The manager still believed the goal would come, even if some of his players' thoughts had fast-forwarded to a penalty shootout.
They never looked to trouble us at all. But as I say, we just couldn't break them down, so I think the manager's message was just keep on going.
So it was kind of edging towards penalties, and you do start to think, oh, it's a lottery when it goes to penalties, and we just try to get ourselves over the line.
A lot of boys are thinking like he's looking that way now, because to be fair to Ayr, you know, they held out, their game plan almost worked.
I thought prepare yourself for penalties, Cammy, because I mean it could go down to it. You've not had a lot to do. Everyone would fancy the other goalie because you've not done much in this game.
That was one thing I wasn't going to mention. We had prepared for it in the week, the penalties, but we certainly made sure that we didn't mention that at 90 minutes because that would have planted a seed in the player's head. So we just says, look lads, you've got 30 minutes to get a goal, because it doesn't look as if they're going to come out.
Heffernan for Rocky. David Silva up against Eddie Malone. This could be a chance for Kilmarnock. It's David Silva, just a yard or so wide of the far post. Tiffany stands up to it once more. But for Gary Hay, it's a dangerous ball, well away. Raki now goes for the delicate chip, just too high from Raki. We've seen him score a couple like that this season already.
I was cramping up everywhere, to be fair, and I think it was Jimmy Nicholl asked me how I was, and I could barely move. And it wasn't fair to try and stay out there for my own selfish reasons or whatever. It was better for the team to say that rather than try and hide it. So I went off.
Off will go Gary Hay to be replaced by Danny Bush.
So sitting on the bench, and I remember we'd attacked.
Heffernan time to turn. Is this the moment? Here's Ben Gordon infield for Shields. Great save, Kevin Cuthbert again. There's a follow-up and Shields! At last, the breakthrough comes for Kilmarnock.
I remember running away after I scored, and I remember how tired I was as Danny Bush was jumping on top of me. I remembered I didn't have time to run anywhere or have the energy. I just wanted to try and get back in and see it out.
It looked like it would never come, but Kevin Cuthbert couldn't keep them out forever. But Dean Shields buries it beyond him, and Kilmarnock are on course for a return to Hampden.
The clock seemed to be going very, very quick, and then when we scored, you're looking at it and it's going very, very slow, waiting for the final whistle. But as I said, that was the overriding feeling at that day. It was just relief to get through and to get into the final.
And the final whistle sounds. Kilmarnock are the team who will be back here at Hampden to contest the Scottish Communities League Cup final. Dean Shields, the man who finally got the breakthrough. The Kilmarnock fans, the ones who celebrate. It was nail-biting at times for Kenny Shields and his men, but eventually they found the breakthrough. And it's the Rugby Park faithful who will be returning to the National Stadium for their first League Cup final in 5 years.
The way, I think we won that match was even better, because maybe from a fan point of view, because as a derby you want to them to feel the worst. So having considered a goal, maybe 3 minutes to go in the second extra time, it was even better than winning maybe 6-0.
We've got into the final, and that was the most important thing for the supporters, and it made them feel happy. And when I looked up to the stand afterwards, I was delighted for those supporters and the players. The pressure was off, and now we could prepare for a cup final.
Within hours of clinching a place in the League Cup final, however, a potentially damaging split emerged at the club. setting player against player and manager against chairman. Who did they want to win the other semi-final, Celtic or Falkirk?
At the time, you would have said, yeah, we would like Falkirk to win their semi-final, and then we could have a replay of the 1997 Scottish Cup final.
Me personally, I always wanted Celtic because of the occasion and what it would mean to beat Celtic at Hampden.
As I say, kind of being, I live in Falkirk now as well from Stirling originally, so I wanted probably Falkirk to get through for them.
I think everyone really wanted, Celtic as to be a great atmosphere.
I probably wanted Celtic, if I'm going to be honest.
I'm not going to lie, I was hoping we would get Falkirk. I knew that Falkirk are a good side, but on paper it's a no-brainer. You know that you get a first division team and you play the champions-elect in a cup final at Hampden, so I was hoping that Falkirk would win.
For me personally, it was Celtic because I think you wanted a full stadium.
I think it's always better to play against one big team, because when you win against one big team, it's more you are more happy, more satisfaction. So for me, I think it was the best to play against Celtic.
Part of me wanted Falkirk, and part of me wanted Celtic.
In the end, it was Celtic who triumphed, setting up an all-SPL final. And as Kenny Shiels began to prepare for the biggest match of his career, the prophets of doom emerged with their predictions. Fortunately, he wasn't listening.
But I knew deep inside that we could win. The players knew that. And people had said to me, one person said to me in particular, a very knowledgeable guy said, Kenny, you'll beat the Old Firm in the semis or the quarters, but you'll never beat the Old Firm in the final. It doesn't happen. They turn up in the final. And that made me all the more determined. So our preparation was almost to perfection.
And there's no doubt that Kenny and Jimmy had prepared the tactics very thoroughly, and I'm sure a lot of the things that were said to the media in the lead up to the final were trying to lull Celtic into a false sense of security. Kenny was talking about them deserving to win the treble and so on and so forth, but his mantra to the players in private was believe to achieve, and he was drilling it home to them that they had to believe that they were going to win this final, that they could beat Celtic, and if they had that belief then they would achieve it.
Leading up to the game, the manager was saying a lot of things in the press about how good Celtic are and how they're going to, they're on for a domestic treble and stuff like that. And but privately, we were preparing, and we were very, very confident that we could go there and make it very difficult for them.
I went through a lot of detail in how Celtic played, their patterns of play, where they had domination on where they made their passes, where they switched play to, where they created overloads. I went through it like a fine tooth comb, and we worked on every detail. The attention to detail was very good.
I think every day that week we watched video analysis on Celtic, not just their set pieces and free kicks and things like that, but how they actually play as a team. The personnel the manager thought that they would put out on the day.
It was intense. The manager had a lot of DVD and a lot of analysis stuff from Celtic games that we'd played against them in the past, from the Falkirk game and the semi-final. He'd put an awful lot of work into to make sure that the players were best prepared for the match.
The preparation for the big day couldn't have been better. But as a famous Ayrshire once said, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after gley. A freak training ground accident in February left Shiels' talismanic captain Manuel Pascali with a broken leg, and the manager with a major headache, ahead of one of the biggest games in club history.
I was gutted, obviously, because I played all single minutes in the competition, and missing the final was a big blow. But I said to everybody, if we're gonna win, for me, it will be the same, because I tried my best. I felt like I was playing that match, because I was there.
Just as soon as Manuel Pascali had been injured, there was obviously league games and that coming up, so the manager had just spoke to myself and asked if I was fine doing it, and I said yeah, obviously not realising that you're potentially going to lead out the team in a cup final.
Never being one to ignore a lucky omen, the manager stuck to the regime that had worked so well for the semi-final.
We sleep in the hotel the night before, Then maybe 2 hours before we leave the hotel, was too much people in the hotel, was good atmosphere, was amazing. And me, I was happy to see too much supporters from Kilmarnock in the hotel to say good luck.
I think it really hit us as soon as you walked out of the, after having breakfast, as soon as you walked out of the room, the crowd downstairs, you know, Kilmarnock was full, the car park was full with buses, people looking to travel up to the game. And the standing ovation we got just walking out to get into the coach to go to the match was amazing.
I mean, everyone knew that we'd reached the final and they wanted to show their appreciation to us, so we got applauded on the bus, and to drive away from the stadium and the hotel to Hampden, that's when it really kicked in. You knew you were in for a big game and a big day, and something that will always live with you for the rest of your life.
It's quite emotional, to be fair, because obviously I'm kind of getting that wee bit older as well, and you know, my feeling is it's quite possibly been my last ever cup final for Kilmarnock, so I was just trying to take it all in as well, that you know it is a special occasion, because obviously I recall the other two that I've been involved in and they were disappointing days in the end up, but you don't really appreciate the day until you're kind of after it.
So focused had been the preparation, there wasn't much left for the manager to say in the Hampden dressing room. The players knew what was expected of them.
I think the gaffer's done a lot of talking, you know, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday before the game. So I think on the day of the game there wasn't much really to go over, just little points, maybe set pieces, who's marking who, but there wasn't loads being said really.
He tried to keep us calm because of course it's a special day. It's against Celtic, so they were unbeaten for 25 games or something, I don't know.
But he also went and said, look, you're in a final, go and enjoy yourself and do what you can do, just do your best, give 100%, don't come off that pitch regretting anything.
He believed, he just believed that we could win. He told us that all week leading up to the game. He'd given us this desire and this confidence that we could actually believe that we could win it, and he had us, before we went out that tunnel, we had us convinced that we had a right good chance.
Such was the togetherness of the group that the injured captain even shunned a starring TV role to stay with his teammates right through to kick-off.
I remember they asked me to do the BBC commentary for the final, but I said I have to decline because I don't want to lose any minutes of this final, because I want to stay with the boys in the dressing room before the final, outside before the warm-up, just with them, because I want to feel as I'm playing. That's what I did.
While the manager had his players convinced that they were going to win the cup, the message hadn't filtered through to the town's population.
I think we'd sold less for the final than we did for the semi-final, and some of the guys at the club that, you know, maybe for down south or foreign boys, they couldn't understand that. They're saying, why? How can we sell more for a semi-final than a final? And you know, I says to them, I'm telling you, I says the Kilmarnock fans, that was the final, the semi-final, but we're here to do a job, and the support we got that day for the people that came, you know, I think they came more in hope than expectation, if I'm being honest, and I think that's probably why some people didn't come. They didn't think we could do it.
I actually remember being in the tunnel and thinking, you know, this is great, you know, this is what you play football for. I'm going out into a cup final here against a big club like Celtic, and I remember thinking, yeah, bring it on, you know, this is brilliant.
We were quite relaxed actually. I don't know why. As I say, maybe we just being underdogs, that the pressure wasn't on us, and we were just kind of there to play. We'd had a game plan, we knew how we were going to play.
In the big boys' playground, it's the big boys' rules. Cue the mind games.
We were in the tunnel first, we got there and then we was waiting a few minutes and thinking, is playing mind games already? You know, sort of waiting, making us wait for him.
You know, I don't think Kenny was too happy about them not turning up in time, but as soon as they came walking out, you know, it was every man for themselves. You know, it was 11v11 on the day. We just had to forget about what shirts they were wearing and just go out there, try and win the match.
But being kept waiting in a tunnel just gives a manager time to concoct a plan that could change the course of football history.
I said to Jimmy, I know that they'll expect us, if we get into the game late, the last half hour, 20 minutes, they'll expect us to camp in and play for penalties. I says, we'll do the opposite. We'll put 3 up front, we'll bring the sub on.
fine plan indeed, but one that relies on no one making a silly mistake, particularly inside the first 4 minutes.
Oh, Sissoko's given that straight to Hooper. Good save from Bell. Oh, he's bailed out Sissoko there, big time.
I have no idea what the centre-back is thinking about early in the game. I'm just about to say, take no chances, clear your lines, passes it straight to Gary Hooper, and he should score. Chances do not come any better.
The gaffer said to us, first few minutes, try just keep the ball. Don't just launch it back to Celtic. Just try keep the ball for a few minutes and, get him chasing, just to get a touch of the ball in a cup final. Just try to get, settle your nerves. And then, obviously Duda's got the ball and he's turned out and gone to play it to Michael Nelson, and I think me and Gary here both shouted at the same time, no, and he just done it.
The manager he told me, you have to be focused 90 minutes.
I don't know if he didn't see Hooper or it was a bad pass, but he passed it straight to Hooper, and I was shown for Dudu at the time, so I was out of my position. So I managed to quickly race back into the middle of my goals, and I seen him take his touch, and as soon as I seen him take his touch, I thought I need to put pressure on him to make him hit early. So I managed to get close enough and make a good block, and obviously that gives me confidence. I'm sure it didn't give the rest of the team confidence, but gave me confidence for the rest of the game. And it's maybe fortunate for us that it kind of happened so early in the game that maybe Hooper was a wee bit off the pace, maybe just wasn't quite into the game yet, and Cammy pulled off a great save, and it kind of maybe a wee bit of sigh of relief from everybody, and it maybe calms you down a wee bit as well, and thinking, we've rode the luck a wee bit there. I mean, it was a mistake, it happens, and we didn't crucify him for that, so and he ended up having a fabulous game after that.
Cammy Bell's save from Hooper was to be the first of many in what was to be a man-of-the-match performance by the Kilmarnock keeper that day.
This is the Celtic skipper. Good skill from Brown. That's fantastic. Great ball in, looking for Stokes. Good save, Bell.
It was obviously a great day for me, and some of the saves were good. I mean, the one from Stokes was probably the best save I've made, especially being on a big stage like that and being so important. It would be up there with my best save.
Just that day he made some great saves. I mean, he's pulled me out a hole at one where Brown is skint me in the line and then put a wonderful cross in, and Stokes has had a perfect header, and I don't know how Cammy, still don't know how he got down, and I think he put it around the post or something. I still don't know how he got to it. It was an unbelievable save. When the ball came in, I actually thought Big Nels was getting there, and it just went over his head. I think he got caught under the ball a little bit, and Stokes was behind him, and he got up great. And it was a great header. He got some good power in it, and it's bounced right in front of me, which made it even more difficult. And it just caught the bottom two fingers of my hands, and I managed to just claw it around the post. It was kind of behind me as well.
I think a lot of hype's been made about Cammy's performance, but I think that's disrespectful to the team, because I think we created as many chances, if not more, than Celtic, and by your keeper getting man of the match, sometimes it doesn't reflect on how the game went.
Away by Hay. Johnson trying to complete the clearance. Harkins is onto it now. Now Killy might have a counter-attack on here. Heffernan. Lee Johnson's in terrific space back into the box. He moved into the central area now as Shields goes for goal, and it's saved by Forster.
That's another great piece of goalkeeping. Terrific break from Kilmarnock.
Shields has looked the most likely up front for Kilmarnock so far. He's playing behind Paul Heffernan, who you see there. That's Sissoko, and it's off the line. Well, it was Stokes who was there. Stokes didn't quite come down. Hooper did it. That's Brown! Wow!
Has Cammy Bell got another touch on that, because it's an absolute beauty from Scott Brown when it comes back to him quickly. It's right in his stride, and he can't hit this any better. Goalkeeper says goalkeeper just got a touch.
Oh, he has. That is an unbelievable save from Cammy Bell.
And funny, when I'm asked that question, I always go on the defensive, because it makes it sound as if, wow, we won the match because of Cammy Bell. Cammy Bell made a major contribution. The save he made before half-time was unbelievable. Fantastic, world-class save.
I thought we played some great football that day, and And for people to say that Celtic were all over us, I think we'd be wrong. Both teams had some great chances, and I thought it was a great game to watch as well for the fans.
I think we were, always well in the game. It's not like we were sitting on the edge of our box, hoping for penalties or extra time or anything like that. We were prepared to go out and attack. I had a chance myself first half. Their keeper saved it.
By Liam Kelly. Heffernan will give chase just in the off chance. Wilson miscontrolled, and Wilson's given that one away. Straight to Gary Hayes, Shields to the left, Heffernan to the right. What a chance for Kelly! Good save from Fraser Forster.
As the final wore on, it became apparent that our tactics were working and the Celtic tactics weren't working as well as they have done in previous encounters. And there was a sense that the Celtic players were becoming frustrated because they knew that they weren't being the dominant force.
As Dean Shields comes through, Shields is in! Oh, he's fluffed his lines! It might come to Fowler. Headed away by Wilson.
I played the ball coming in from the left, and it sort of ricocheted back to me, and I sort of broke in 3 into the box, and it sort of bounced just right in between my legs on the corner of the inside of the box. And I remember trying to open up my body and side foot it into the far corner, and I've completely misjudged the bounce, and I've just caught the bottom of the ball, and it's sliced back towards the back post, not even going towards the goal.
Keys delivery, and then tipped over by that man Bell again.
He's having a great afternoon. I don't think that this is the most difficult save he's ever going to face. Wanyama does well to get the header on target, but does the right thing, tip it over. Just come at a nice height and straight at him. On the kind of form he's in today, he wasn't going to get beat by that one.
It was just fantastic. Even the supporters of Celtic and our supporters, they were supporting their team. They were. I don't think there was 1 second quiet in the stadium. I saw sometimes the manager was coming out on the line to shout to somebody to coach him, to say do this, do that, but it was almost impossible to hear him. So it was incredible.
As the game moved into the latter stages, still goalless, Kenny unveiled the masterstroke discussed earlier with Jimmy. Neil Lennon and the Celtic bench weren't the only ones taken by surprise.
Yeah, Dieter van Tornout, the Belgian striker, will replace Gary Harkins.
I don't know if a lot of manager last 10 minutes to go in the cup final against Celtic would have gone with 2 strikers and the Dean Shields on the pitch as well, so basically 3 strikers.
I mean, it was make or break maybe for the manager. He thought, we just need to go for this. When's the next chance you might get in a cup final to do this? So he made the gamble.
No, I wasn't surprised at all, because we came to win. We didn't come to go for extra time or settle for just hanging in.
Well, knowing the manager, knowing what he's like, no, I wasn't surprised, because I know he wants to win, and I know his attacking philosophy and the brand of football that he plays, and that's his philosophy. So he's going to stick with that, and he stuck with it.
I was surprised, yes, because it was against Celtic, and when you put 2 strikers up front, you have less midfielders. So for me, I was surprised.
We had to adjust a little bit to the change. It did mean going a little bit more offensive and having 2 strikers up there rather than Harks who would drift off wide. So it did give us a more direct approach towards goal. So it was a brave decision, yeah.
I said to him, look, Gaffer, when you took Harkins off and put 2 strikers with 10 minutes to go against Celtic, I said to Gaffer, not now, they're going to destroy us.
He said to me, run, work, and try to go in the back of the defense. That was actually the only thing. He said, enjoy as well and go for it.
Matthews up against Gordon. He plays it off Gordon. It's a great challenge from the Kilmarnock left back. Heffernan. See that pain-killing injection, that groin injury at the beginning of last week. Hay Winning it from Fowler. Gordon. Johnson. Oh, this will be interesting. Kilmarnock have scored. 6.5 minutes to go, and Kilmarnock, through that turnout, have taken the lead at Hampden and have stunned Celtic.
If I remember rightly, I think it was Matthews was running at me down the right hand side. He's gone to put a cross in. I've sort of blocked it, and it's gone to the edge of the box, and then it's like I've beat him in a tackle. We've countered, I think, and then it's gone over, and it was sort of a slow counter. It's gone over to the other side of the pitch. And then come back over to me again. I played in Lee Johnson down the side, and he put a great ball into the back post, and then Dieter was there really, sort of couldn't miss.
And he gave actually a perfect cross between the goalkeeper and the defense of them. And I was on the back of the goal, of the back post, let me say. And I just put my head on the ball, and it was a goal. So it was a fantastic feeling.
It was a great feeling when that went in, you know. It was an unbelievable feeling. It's hard to describe really, you know. And I just seen with running off, celebrating with them, and looking into the crowd and seeing them celebrating as well was a fantastic moment I'll never forget, you know.
I could feel the tears starting to well up in my eyes and stream down my face when they went in. We all went mental when we were celebrating, you know. And it was the best feeling I've ever had on a football pitch, without any doubt.
I remember being behind the nets, but I remember as soon as he scored, the first thing I done was look towards the screen for to see how long was left.
It was a fantastic feeling, a great moment of joy, and seeing the joyous celebrations of our supporters was really uplifting, and there were a lot of people in the Royal Box who maybe were supposed to be neutral who over-celebrated because we had a lot of neutrals pulling for Kilmarnock, and I'm sure many thousands at home were delighted to see the underdogs win the day.
I think as we were celebrating, there was a few of us saying to each other, look, you know, we got to dig in here and try and get through this.
I think the more senior players are saying, don't get too carried away, just concentrate now for like 5 or 6 minutes, and you know we've won a cup.
They were obviously going to throw everything at us, but we just says, look, the next 2 or 3 minutes, solid, don't lose anything straight away.
That 6 minutes felt like about 60.
Samaras saved by Bell again, and again.
Unbelievable afternoon he's had, absolutely sensational. Samaras cannot hit this any better. Goes across the keeper, asks the question, and Cammy Bell has produced the answer. When it comes out, another chance for Collins, hits it well. There is a game. What a game Cammy Bell has had for Kelly.
Obviously they got the opportunity. When I caught the last one, I remember jumping up and Big Nels came over and gave me a kiss in the cheek. So that was it was a good moment. I was smiling, and I just knew at that point, I knew it was my day, and I knew that we were going to win the game.
But there was to be one more dramatic twist to this fairy tale, deep into injury time.
It's 2.5 minutes left of the Scottish Communities League Cup final. Wanyama into the path of Stokes. This is the chance. He's round the keeper, goes down. Oh, he's going to book Stokes for diving.
He's very close. When it goes to Stokes from Wanyama, I thought he's going to pick his spot, and we're going to extra time. But is there any touch at all here? Anthony Stokes nicks the ball. Can't see it from here, but the referee who's coming down the back there, this is the more or less the referee's view. Oh, I tell you what, big decision he's made, very difficult to tell from here.
Never in a month of Sundays was that a penalty kick, in my opinion, but I wear tinted glasses all the time. I really do. And I look back and think of some of the things that I say, and I said, why did I say that? Because that wasn't the truth. But I genuinely, still to this day, did not see that as a penalty.
And I was kind of directly behind the referee. I'd seen Stokes going down, and I seen the referee going to blow, and my heart did sink. I just thought, oh, he's gave a penalty.
I look back at it now, and I'm still not sure if it was a penalty or not. So It was a brave call from the referee. That it would have been easy for him to point to the penalty spot there. So we were thankful that he didn't really.
When you see that Celtic player go over like that, with they had 3/4 of the stadium, and to be honest, I thought he's given a penalty, and I couldn't believe it. I thought we've scored at a great time, and now it's going to go to extra time.
So it was a brave decision actually, because looking back, it was hard to tell, even on replays and stuff. But the referee was in a good position, and he felt that obviously maybe took that extra step, and it wasn't a penalty.
I just thought, oh, thank God, it was definitely one you've seen given. There's no doubt about that. I'm still to this day, I've seen it from every angle, and I don't think it's a penalty. I can still say that, hand in my heart. If it had been up the other end, we'd have been looking for it. Damn right we would have been, but that's one of the breaks that you need on the day. And I think, I wouldn't say it was lucky, because I think it was deserved, but it's just one of the breaks you get.
There wasn't any contact, and I think it was a strong referee that had to make that decision, because your 93rd minute with Celtic, they've got 30,000 fans screaming at them, and for me he got the decision right, and thankfully we managed to hold out for another 1 or 2 minutes that was after that.
Do Celtic have anyone who can step up to the plate and save this? Commons. Only need the one chance. There's Gary Hay. Adam Matthews pumping the ball back in. It's too long. It's too long. It's a goal kick. 1 minute to go.
And you cannot afford a wasteful ball like that. You've got to get something in the box. It's overhit and easy for the Kilmarnock defenders just to shepherd it out for the goal kick. And that allows Cammy Bell to take another 30 seconds off the clock as he goes from side to side to take the goal kick.
Bell clears. Will Celtic get another chance?
I just remember the ball came to me, and I've probably played the best pass of the game. For me that day, it was just a launch into the corner, and it just seemed to stop dead right in the corner, just perfect. And I think it was Dean or Dieter that collected it, and they kept it down there for like 10-15 seconds, and then the referees blew the whistle, and it was just like the goal really. I did generally have tears running down my face when they blew the final whistle.
And surely it's done. Kenny Shields looks on. Nerves jangling. Scott Brown clears. It is a goal kick, but time is up. And Kilmarnock have won the 2012 Scottish Communities League Cup. A sensational result. Silver for Killy. A quite incredible end to this game.
I think I was next to Gary Hay. He brought it down in tears. It's his third final. He's been at Kilmarnock all his career, and for him to win a medal, it just showed. When the whistle went, it just showed in his face. He was just so emotional, and what it meant to him. And I think everyone just overjoyed. To win a cup final, it's just an amazing feeling.
I just kind of looked up to see where my family was and things like that, and it was just an amazing day to be. I've been at Kilmarnock for such a long time, and all I've ever wanted to do is win a trophy with them, and to finally achieve that was really special.
It's very nice personally for me that I scored the winning goal for Kilmarnock, but it's actually the other 23 players who did it as well. So personally it was fantastic, but I keep on saying it was the full squad, the full club Kilmarnock who win the cup.
The cup was heading to Rugby Park for the first time ever. The question was, who'd take it there?
I was speaking with the two oldest guy ever, Gary and James Fowler, about the cup, and they said to me, "Manu, if you're gonna win, you are the club captain. You're gonna lift it up." I said, "Look, we're gonna go together, because yes, I'm here since 4 years, but you've been here for all your life. You deserve this more than me." And we will go there together, said them, Maldini, Costa Curta and Baresi all together, and we're gonna go there.
It was an unbelievable feeling going up those steps at Hampden to lift the trophy. With these lads here at this club, it's a great bunch of lads, and to do it all together and at the same time, it was a great feeling.
I remember just being with a few of the boys, just walking up thinking couldn't believe it still, just couldn't believe it. And everyone was saying like, there's no rehearsals in life, like we've actually won it, sort of thing. And then we was all going up and then got our medals and just waiting for, you know, Pascali to get up on his crutches and then lift the trophy.
So the winners of the Scottish Communities League Cup for 2012 are... This afternoon, Kilmarnock are the 2012 Scottish Communities League Cup winners. What a moment for them, and what a moment for the club, and indeed that man there, Kenny Shields, in his first full season as Kilmarnock boss, he has led them to silverware.
It was really good emotion because everybody was tired of too much game we played before, so it was like a satisfaction for everybody and for the fan when you see all the fans crying and screaming. It's crazy.
Oh, it was brilliant for me. It's what I've always wanted to do, is to do it on a big stage, and I knew some people had questioned me in the press before it, can you do it on a big stage, and it was really my first opportunity to do it, so I'm just glad I managed to play to my potential, and to get man of the match was amazing. It was a special moment for me, and to get presented that, and just to be able to take that home and hopefully show my kids in years to come the game and the trophy and the medals will be special for me as well.
For Kilmarnock, that cup was the first in history, and for every single player was I think the first trophy, and that makes the difference in every single sport, even in life. Motivation makes a difference, and that day we wanted it more than them.
But as the players paraded the cup in front of their adoring fans, unknown to any of them, a tragic event was unfolding just yards away.
Unfortunately, there was also a tragic situation for Liam Kelly, and where I was standing in the Royal Box, I was watching the celebrations going on in the pitch, and our players coming up to get their medals and then going onto the pitch with the trophy, but I could also see that the medics were working hard, and that Liam had come off and had obviously been upset, so I knew immediately that there was some connection, and so it was difficult to fully engage in the celebrations because I knew there was a problem, and I went down to the tunnel area and helped Liam and his family with that situation. But Liam dealt with the whole situation with great dignity, and it's all credit to him that he was able to do that.
And we were celebrating, and on one moment there was like one steward who came to some players and he said, okay, it's finished now, it's better to go in the dressing room.
They've got this picture in my mind that will be with me forever, like the cup in the middle of the dressing room with champagne, beers all around, and all the players around just like crying or with hands in them hair, because nobody like believed what was happening. Was tragic, because obviously like feeling very, very devastated for Liam, because happened to him, but every single parent was there, and could have happened to anybody.
I felt so much remorse for Liam and for his family at such a fantastic time. So he's gone from the top of the world to the bottom in one fell swoop. But I don't want to talk too much about that, but it's quite a significant part of the cup final and my memories.
We knew as soon as we won the final that many thousands of people would turn out in Kilmarnock, that John Finney Street would be packed, that they'd be waiting for the open top bus tour, that they'd be here at Rugby Park at the stadium. So the players went ahead with that, although they certainly weren't in the mood to celebrate when they learned about Liam's father's passing. So it was a difficult situation for them, but all credit to them as well, because they dealt with it in a very professional manner, and I think it was the best thing for them to put that aside and to celebrate with the supporters in the way that everybody wanted at the time.
After the final, you know, we did a open top sort of bus parade, And to be honest, I never knew there were so many people in Kilmarnock. They all came out onto the streets, and in the days and weeks after the final, I think there was such a buzz around the town. You could tell that obviously we'd won a final, and the town just seemed to be buzzing.
You've seen how much it meant with the celebrations when we arrived back in Kilmarnock, the town. I don't think the lads were braced for that. We weren't expecting such a big turnout, and we know even now going into games and talking to the fans since, it's been a remarkable time for them to win the trophy in Hampden against Celtic, beating Ayr in the semis. It's been a fairy tale for the fans and for the players and the staff.
It's just great to have managed to win something in my career personally, but also for the fans and for the club. A club the size of Kilmarnock doesn't often get to finals, and to go and win it at Hampden against one of the old firm, I think's a massive achievement.
It's you'd people here that have played here a long time. This is my first season, so it's hard for me to know what it meant to them, but I can see what it meant to lads that have been here a long time, and people in the staff and people like that it just meant the world to them, and it was great to be involved in it, really.
Well, I know a great deal of players go through their whole careers and never win a trophy, and obviously managing to win a trophy at the age of 22, I hope there's more to come, but if it doesn't, then that's the trophy that I've won, and it's a fantastic achievement, something that I'm incredibly proud of.
Ever since I've been a wee boy, all I wanted to do was play with Kilmarnock, and I got that. A dream came true really, and to win the final against Celtic, as we did in the League Cup, it made I think myself, God, how many people have we made happy today? And ever since, I can't count the people, the amount of people have come up to me and said, honestly, you've given me the greatest day of my life, even better than when we won the Scottish Cup in '97. He says that was the greatest day of my life.
But you never know. Now you taste how the glory is. You want to taste it again. So I think everybody will start the cup runs next season with more motivation than ever, because we tried it before. We want to try it again.
It's very special, and hopefully boost the whole area and the whole Ayrshire, and boost the profile of Kilmarnock Football Club, because that's what we're here to do, really.
Winning a cup gets everybody in a high again. It gives something back to the community, because we've been successful, because we went to and we've beaten the Celtic. This gave the place a huge boom. It's great to see people going down in Kilmarnock with smiles on their faces after a game, and that's down to Kilmarnock winning the League Cup.
I think the fact that it's here and it's ours for this season, it gives you a great sense of pride that you've done something for a community that's hasn't it a lot to cheer about, but to look at it and reflect on it. I think the greatest feeling in life is helping other people to become happy, and I feel that we made a contribution towards that. When I say we, I mean the whole family of Kilmarnock Football Club. Kirsten Callahan, Michael Johnson, the players, the staff, management, there's a lot of people involved in that, and the people that work in the office and do the administration, all of those people made a major contribution, and myself included, to make the people of the town happy, and it's a great community drive, and I was really happy that we won the cup. That's how much it means to me. It means so much.